So I'm super psyched to chat with you today because your musical journey is really cool. And you have your debut EP out right now, and I know more music is coming on the way. So let's just kind
Mm.
of get to the basics. First of all, you're from Australia, you're not from the US. So how
Yeah,
did you make your way over from the Gold Coast over here to LA?
it's kind of a long story, but essentially, back home we have this kind of radio station called Triple J. They're like the national like indie station, and they have a competition for high school kids. And I entered that like the night that it closed. So they called me the next day and they said that I'd entered too late to like actually be able to like do press around it and stuff. But they gave me an interview the next day, and I put up on my socials and stuff, and I met like my management team, and I'm realizing that this is maybe too much context. Basically, I met my management, and then I started co-writing and wrote like Goodbye within like a few weeks, which is like I guess the single for the EP. And then like by the time we got everything like organized and like got a lawyer and all the people to, do that kind of thing, my lawyer hadn't actually heard any of the music. And so he was like, "Can I hear something?" So we like sent him a couple of the tracks, and then kind of without telling anyone, he sent it off to the US because he knew some people, and he was like, "This is gonna be sick."
Oh, that's awesome though. I mean, you're with Warner Brothers. Like that's a big deal. You should be really proud of yourself. So now let's talk about the sound of your music. I listened to the EP before I hopped on the call, and it's just like it gives me just good vibes. It's like that soul R&B, which I really like. So talk to me on how you like found your sound and how you knew what you wanted to create in terms of like the style of music.
When I first started like actively making music towards this idea of some sort of career, I really didn't know what I wanted to sound like. I knew I had like influences like Frank Ocean, obviously, and Anderson .Paak just released Malibu, and Solange, and very cool people like that. But there was also like stuff on the indie side, and
Yeah.
like especially in Australia, like the indie kind of like pop scene and rock is like very big. The like first music that I made was like just it was all over the place. Every other day I'd come up with something. Then I like wrote like a stadium rock song one time. It just took a lot of time. I'm really grateful the time that I had over COVID and stuff. Like I feel like I really got to settle in and cement this sort of soundscape that is now the year of February. But it's things that I've tapped into earlier on, but then kind of left. And it's just been about time. Like I've always gravitated towards things that I deem beautiful, but cool. And that's just like, I don't know, the spaces that I try to occupy in the most like general sense.
Awesome. So now let's talk about the debut EP. Obviously, that's the first like music that people are going to hear from you. Was there a lot of pressure going in when you were making these songs? Did you know that the songs that you were making were going to be on the debut project?
There's songs that I wrote earlier this year, so I definitely didn't know that they would be on it. There's songs that I wrote like 2, 3 years ago that I've had like strong feelings about, and I guess like this EP has had maybe like 3 or 4 different iterations. The pressure has like come and gone, and I feel like most of that's just like within, and like the expectations, like you said, like being signed to Warner Records. Like I think for myself, I put pressure on to be like, oh, like this has to be a certain way now. So being able to like get away from that over like the past like couple of years has been really good, and just like kind of taking it off and respecting myself a little bit more and feeling like maybe I got signed for a reason.
Oh, please. Now what's like the story that you're trying to tell though with these songs? Because like we said, everything is like specifically curated by an artist. So is there like a message or a story that you're really trying to tell with this EP?
For me, when I look at the songs and I listen through, the story is really about kind of the themes that kept coming around. So initially, I thought, the year of February would be these songs that I wrote from February 2018 to 2019. I just kept being able to measure my life in like Februarys in a weird way. Everything kind of seemed to reset, like I'd be in a new relationship, or like signing a deal, all this stuff. Like there was so much going on, and it always like started and kind of ended at this February marker. So it felt like it was a really cool way to bring in like such a, like a project that spans quite a lot of time, but there's themes that just kept on repeating, like hologram. That's something that I, am constantly kind of grappling with like this idea of like whether or not I belong in this industry, and with all these like people, it's like it's cool, but it's also like all the people that I look up to, and feeling like I want to make music at that level and that caliber. And then, you know, things like Goodbye, like, I mean, I wrote that when I was pretty young, and I was feeling pretty heartbroken, but like, yeah, I feel like that kind of, that message especially, like, don't forget me, like, yeah, I feel that way about some people.
Now, let's talk about new music, right? There's got to be more songs in the bank that you're going to want to be releasing. What's like the timeline for that? Tell me everything.
I actually don't know how much I'm allowed to say about that, but new music, definitely. I'd say in the new year.
Oh, okay.
New
Okay,
music
great.
in the new year. It's on the horizon for sure.
Okay. Okay. Is it going to be like single rollouts? Or are you going to do like another project? Like, what is something, obviously you can't say much, but is there like a goal that you really want to
Yeah,
do?
I'll say this. I'm hoping to release another project in whatever form that takes.
Now the next goal has to be radio play, obviously. Have your songs like hit the radio anywhere in any countries? Do you know about that yet?
Back home, the like support from Triple J has been amazing.
Okay.
So shout out to them. Back home, someone said that they were walking past and someone was blaring like "Gone Without a Trace" out the window. That's how you know you've made it.
For sure. Now I want to talk about live shows. Have you like gone on tour recently, or is it something that you really want to dive into? I know you are a new artist, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
like how many shows like you played or things like that.
I think touring is coming up next year. People listening to music is very cool, but
Yeah.
seeing people listen to your music and like being able to connect and like people like singing some of the lyrics back, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's how you like, yeah, that felt very special. And also like it gives more meaning to all the songs for me, because obviously I've heard them a lot. When you're singing with people, that's just amazing. And my band is like my favorite people. So
Yeah.
they're
That's
my friends.
awesome. So now dream tour, where would you want to go? Who would you want to play with? Obviously you said you're really close with your band, but thinking like if you were having supporting acts for you, or if you were opening for anyone, what's like the dream?
Opening for Anderson .Paak would be crazy.
Mm,
Opening for Sampa the Great would be crazy. Opening for Solange would be crazy.
that would be
Opening for Little Sims would be amazing. Steve Lacy, I feel like if I had a nickel for every time someone said I look like Steve Lacy, I'd kind of be rich.
kind of be rich. No, you would actually be rich.
Well, I'd be like richer than I am. How about that?
And
Yeah.
Forrest, we are Celeb Secrets though. Like, what are some secrets when making music that people wouldn't know, like just by listening to it?
Some of the vocals
Okay.
were recorded on the day that we wrote the song.
Oh, okay. So you
Not
got.
saying which songs,
Oh, okay.
saying some of the vocals stuck. You just couldn't beat them. It sucked. I
Wow.
was really trying. Spent
Wow.
hours, days just trying to like beat, and it's sometimes it's just the magic when you're like creating everything that you like whatever. And so
Mm.
that's sometimes demo vocals win.
So like how long does it usually take you on average when you're putting together a song? Because like you said, it's a hit or miss. It could take, a couple hours or a couple weeks. What's like average for you?
I feel like most songs that I've written have been like, excluding like additional production, like like going into like that stuff,
Mhm.
within like a day or three. Did you know Teenage Dream took them 3 months to write the hook? Just the
No.
lyrics. Just
No
the
way.
lyrics. Like I'm not on that level of like writing pop bangers.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like 3 days. If it's not done, then maybe it's not good.
And lastly, whoever hasn't heard of you yet or heard of your music, what's like a message that you want to give to any new fans that might come across your music?
Okay, well, I've got songs for the heartbreak.
Okay.
I've got songs for when you're like, where am I in life? I've got songs for a cheeky dance. There's a cheeky dance in there. I got songs to send to your ex if you have bad ideas. I also have songs that make you feel good and maybe take some solace in like whatever you're feeling.